Hello everyone, it's John from Brisbane, and today what am I going to talk about? Well, I've got some friends that I know whose weddings are coming up soon. Yes. Ah, dear weddings. But anyway, what I thought I would share was the fact that everyone seems to want weddings that are perfect. Well, my wedding was far from perfect, and to be quite honest, my wife and I have both said that we rather like the fact that our wedding wasn't perfect because, well, we've always got something to talk about. And I'll explain why. To start with, my mother did not want me to marry my wife, and my mother, the whole period of time in which she was alive, did everything that she could to sabotage and destroy my marriage. And I'm happy to say that she failed up until the day she died. She never succeeded. But anyway, back to my wedding. Anyway, the day of our wedding, the grooms and the best man came to collect me. I was still living at home at that stage, and I was going down the stairs to get into the car, and the best man said, "John, where are the rings?" And I went, "Oh, crap, forgot all about them." And I said, "Mum, where are the rings?" She said, "I don't have them." Sabotage number one. I said, "Yes, you do." I said, "You were the one who insisted that you look after them because you didn't trust me to." Oh. Oh, well, they must be in my jewellery box in my bedroom. All right. So I had a look. Not there. So panic ensued. Could not find them. Could not locate them. We couldn't wait. So I ended up having to borrow 2 substitute rings for the wedding. So that was the first problem. Wife and I still laugh about it today. So so there you go. First bit of problem that happened for the day. Second, we didn't realise when we were leaving my home, because I lived on the south side of Brisbane, our wedding venue was on the north side of Brisbane, so it was about a 20-minute, maybe 30-minute at most. Well, it stretched out anyway, because we didn't realise that Warana was on, and that was a festival in Brisbane at the time. I don't even know if it still happens anymore, to be quite honest. But anyway, Warana was on, and that held up. Because once again, we didn't have many of the motorways and that we have today. So Brisbane 33 years ago was far less sophisticated than it is today. And, well, we got held up in traffic, which slowed us down. Unbeknownst to us, my bride and wife was eager to get to the church on time. Yes, my mother-in-law, she thought I'd stood her daughter up. So, you can imagine, my mother-in-law was mad as a cut snake, and she was, of course, letting everybody know that I was a vile man and that I'd consequently was evil and... No, not quite that bad, but yes, she was panicking because her daughter had to go round the block, I think maybe once, I think it was only once. I don't think it was any more than that, but yeah, so the bride was eager. She turned up early. Yeah, it was funny, but you know, it was just one of those things. Again, it was just something to remember. It was a lot of fun. Next thing that happened, the photographer. he locked the keys of his car in the boot of his car with his cameras. Yes. So consequently, our photos were delayed, which meant the service got held up a little longer. So things sort of progressed further and further. So we were, oh dear, anyway. So eventually, I think it was girlfriend or his wife or assistant, I don't know who it was, they dashed off, and eventually the keys, a spare set turned up, and photos were taken, because obviously I've got photos to show for the day. So they were the three, well, the main things that stood out on the day. And of course, you know, service started, and we had it in a church, and you know, Michelle comes down the aisle and she gets up on the altar, pardon me, with me, and you know, she's nervous, and I'm saying to her, Michelle, I don't have the rings. Didn't understand. Didn't hear anything I said until the rings were produced, and then the look. And it was, you know, some close family friends just said the look on Michelle's face when she saw that they were not her rings. It was like, these are not my rings. These are not our rings. Where are our rings? But, you know, we can sit there and talk about it now, and it's still, you know, I think at the time, I think she was upset, and I don't blame her, you know, and you know, it was just, that was my mother. She was not happy because by her definition I married a peasant, and she never forgave me, and she took it out on my wife, and she took it out on my children. You know, she played favourites, and that was never good. You know, I don't play favourites, and you know, it was really, really sad that was the way that my mother operated. But anyway, so here I am. I'm 33 years later. I'm still married to the same woman that I married. You know, she's you know, we've gotten older. I've gotten older, and you know, my wife's, you know, my health's not good, and my wife, unfortunately, is early stage dementia, and she's not travelling well herself with her health, and you know, it's one of those things that it's sad when sometimes some of the advice that you're given by external treating bodies more or less say, oh, you know, you must look after your own health, and maybe it would be best for you if you separate. You know, that's not what marriage is about. You know, they say, you know, marriage is for better or for worse. And it reminds me of a character from, I think, David Eddings, the knight. I can't remember his name, Samandalin or Samandorlan. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've read it, but you know, he never, you know, I've very much true to my beliefs, and you know, certainly I, you know, would not do that. You know, she's the person that I'm married to, and I will stay with her until the very end. And you know, it's you know, just one of those things, you know, that throughout life that we've had good times and we've had a lot of bad times. I've had, as I said, you know, my mother did everything in her power to, to more or less say, look, leave her. And I refused to. She made it, fairly obvious that, the financial position would be far better for me if I did. And no, that's not what marriage, can't be bought or brokered by such issues. That and the fact that I'm a pig-headed bastard and refuse to have others dictate to me how I should live my life. And I choose who I wish to stay with, and I'm incredibly loyal to those that I love and like. And yeah. So I started up talking about bloody the amusing parts of weddings, didn't I? And I've digressed to talking about, I suppose, the fidelity of marriage. And so I suppose that's the other thing. With who you choose as your partner, these days when you look at the fact that marriages don't seem to last very long, I suppose for those of my friends or the people that I know who are getting married, I hope that you marry for the right reasons and that your marriage lasts as long or longer than mine, because I may drop dead tomorrow. God willing, I hope I do. I've lived long enough. But, this is, people, if you choose to marry for the right reasons. That's essentially what I'm saying. Just don't marry because it's a popular thing to do, or that, you want to add it to your bucket list or whatever. Marry because you're marrying somebody that you love and that it's who you want to spend the rest of your life with, not somebody that you might be sexually attracted to and that you're only looking for the sexual gratification or for, financial gain, or for, for whatever, I don't know, trivial reason you may associate with what you think marriage is all about. Marriage is more than just, the ephemera of the day. But anyway, I'm an old man. I've been there, still in it, still progressing in my journey. So anyway, look, thank you for listening to an old man's ramble. That's my thing. As I said, far better to have a wedding that has issues, as long as they're not horrible issues. It'd be dreadful if there was something really, really gross. But, if it's just little things that, like what my things were, things that you can sit back and go, yeah, okay, it was amusing. But, that's just this was my wedding, and, my wife and I can laugh at these things all these years later. So anyway, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for putting up with my waffling into the emptiness of nothing. I enjoy talking to myself. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you next time. Signing off, the Honourable John.